For years, we were told that artificial intelligence would change the world by giving everyone access to powerful tools, open knowledge, and innovation without limits. We were promised a future where AI was for the people. But now, something very different is happening. Behind closed doors, the biggest tech companies in the world are quietly locking the gates. They are pulling back access, closing APIs, hiding their data, and keeping their most advanced models for themselves. This is what I call the AI blackout. And the truth is, it's already here. Not long ago, AI research was driven by collaboration. Universities, researchers, and even big companies were sharing papers, datasets, and code. We got to see the inside of how AI worked, and developers all over the world could build on top of it. That's how projects like GPT, Stable Diffusion, and Llama came to exist. But in the last year, the mood has completely shifted. Suddenly, companies like Google, OpenAI, and Anthropic are keeping their most powerful models secret. They release marketing demos, but not the real thing. They publish summaries of their research, but hide the data that proves their claims. And they're doing it with one simple excuse: safety. Now, let's be clear. AI safety is important. Number one wants a powerful system in the wrong hands. But the question is, safety for who? Safety for the public or safety for their profits? Because when you look closely, this so-called safety movement just happens to align perfectly with keeping competitors out of the game. They say they're worried about misuse, but they're still selling AI access to corporations that can pay millions. They're not locking it away from everyone, just from you. This blackout is already hurting innovation. Startups that once relied on open datasets now find themselves cut off. Independent researchers who used to test and improve models can't even get access to the raw numbers. And developers in smaller countries who could have brought new ideas to the table are being left behind. The only people with the keys are the ones already sitting on top of billion-dollar empires. Let me give you an example. Just a year ago, OpenAI's API was one of the easiest ways for a small team to build an AI product. You could sign up, start experimenting, and maybe build the next big thing. Now, new access is harder to get. The costs are higher, and the rules are stricter. And if your idea even slightly threatens their business model, don't be surprised if your access is suddenly revoked. We've seen similar moves from Google, who has started limiting the amount of AI-generated search results that third parties can access, and from Meta, who, despite releasing Llama as open source, is already facing pressure to close future versions. But here's the dangerous part. When AI is controlled by just a handful of companies, they don't just control the tools, we are also trusting them to control the truth. They decide which data is safe for us to see. They decide which AI outputs are acceptable. They decide what is possible and what is forbidden. And in a world where AI will soon be the main filter for all information we consume, that level of control is terrifying. Some insiders have already spoken out, warning that the blackout is not about security at all, it's about monopoly. They want to create a future where every AI interaction you have is rented from them at a price they set, under rules they choose. No competition, no transparency, no alternatives. Just a world where AI is a product you consume, not a tool you control. The blackout is also slowing down the fight against bias and misinformation. When AI models were more open, independent researchers could analyze them, find flaws, and push for improvements. Now, we have to take the company's word for it. If their model is biased, we may never know. If it's hallucinating information, they can hide it. And if it's quietly promoting certain narratives over others, who's going to call them out? Without access, no one can. Of course, the companies will tell you that open access is too dangerous, that if they release their models, someone could use them for harm. But here's the hypocrisy. They're still building and training even more powerful AI systems behind the scenes. They're just not sharing them with the public. In other words, they're saying, we can be trusted with this power, but you can't. And that's a decision they've made without asking you. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time big tech has done something like this. We've seen it with social media algorithms, search engine rankings, even the way operating systems work. First, they promise openness and innovation to get everyone on board. Then, once they've built enough dominance, they close the system, control the rules, and make sure no one else can catch up. AI is just the latest and most powerful example. The AI blackout has another hidden consequence. Data itself is becoming a weapon. AI systems need massive amounts of information to work. The more data you have, the better your models become. So now, big tech is buying up exclusive rights to datasets. They're scraping the internet, cutting deals with publishers, and locking away everything they collect. If you're not one of them, you're left training your AI on scraps. And that means your AI will never compete with theirs. This is the reality. The future of AI is being decided right now. Not by governments, not by the public, but by a handful of executives in boardrooms. And the blackout is their strategy to make sure they stay in control. They'll frame it as responsible, ethical, and safe. But when you strip away the PR, what you see is a power grab. A way to own the technology that will shape the next century. So, what can we do? The first step is awareness. We can't fight a blackout we don't see. People need to understand that the narrative around AI safety is being weaponized to protect corporate power. We need to support open-source AI projects, push for transparency, and demand that access to these technologies isn't just for the rich and powerful. Because if we don't, we're heading for a future where the most important tool humanity has ever created is locked in a vault. And the only way to use it is to pay the people who locked it there. The AI blackout is not coming. It's already here. And unless we push back now, the age of open AI will be nothing more than a memory.